Are you kidding me? Who cares? It's a joke song, bro. People do mama jokes all the time.
I am fighting for a better game for you.
No, your eyes do not deceive you. It is not E3 2020.
What's going on, guys? This is your BlackBusterCritic, and today we got some destruction at hand, and we're going to use that destruction to issue a challenge to a certain someone.
The BlackBusterCritic, otherwise known as Jamin, is an OG YouTuber that's been around on the platform for over 11 years. These videos are incredibly nostalgic for me because I remember watching these videos when I was like a little kid, like 10 years ago. So this topic is definitely very nostalgic. He is known on YouTube for making and discussing degenerate people, whether on DeviantArt or YouTube itself. The BlackBusterCritic originally started his YouTube channel making reviews of games and movies, simply saying whatever he felt on the media he was covering at the time. BlackBusterCritic would play games mostly from PlayStation or Nintendo, but he was mostly known for being a member of the PC Master Race.
You know, I've apparently got so much money, I just don't know what to do with all of it. At least that's what the console fanboys tell me.
He had a brother that had a YouTube channel named Shokyo, otherwise being known as the Will Smith of YouTube, and he would cover similar topics on YouTube and is still active on the platform to this day. For most of my Project M fans out there, Shokyo is actually a really good Zero Suit Samus player from Texas, and this guy actually got me into Project M indirectly because he made a video about Project M back in the 2.6 days. Now anyways, on to the video about his brother, the BlackBusterCritic, otherwise known as Jamin. Now Jamin actually at the time worked at the now defunct business Blockbuster, which if you've been living under a rock for 10 years or you were born in the late 2000s, you probably don't know what Blockbuster is, but don't worry, I got you on that. Instead of Netflix and chilling, it was Blockbuster and chill. Actually, it was more like, hey, let me just pray to God that they have this movie in stock, and if they don't, well, I guess I'll try to get something else. That was Blockbuster in a nutshell. Fun fact, Blockbuster had the chance to buy out Netflix in their early stages of the company, and Blockbuster turned them down. Funny how that worked out. Want to come over and Blockbuster and chill? Yeah, no, that sucks. Sounds weird. I would not allow someone to Blockbuster and chill with me. So, funnily enough, BlackBusterCritic worked at Blockbuster. This started an iconic video series that he would start called Guidelines to Being a Customer, where Jamin would simply rant about the crazy things he had to deal with while working at Blockbuster.
You know what this is? This is a Blockbuster store. You rent a movie from the store, it goes back to that store. But you know, it's not just returning movies to a Blockbuster that's a problem. People return our movies to the public library! Why would you take our movies and take it to the library? Hi, hello. I was wondering, honey, what's the name of that movie? It's Drag Me to Hell, baby, Drag Me to Hell. See what the next showing is. Yes. What's the next showing for Drag Me to Hell? Next showings? What do you think Blockbuster is? We're not a movie theater. She asked me where's our next showing for a movie in theaters. There was this big fat girl, nothing against fat people, but there was this big fat girl just staring at the game section. I mean, she was as big as a boomer from Left 4 Dead. Boom, 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 boom. It throws her entire weight into the shelves. And I just see in slow motion, I just see movies just fly up.
He even would tell stories when he was actually robbed multiple times, and even showed actual footage of the robbers getting handcuffed and stopped by the employees and the police. To this day, this video is a crazy watch, even for something that is as old as 2009. This was a must-see for his content, for sure, and I recommend you guys watching it for fun. It doesn't have a crazy amount of views, but it's definitely a really good watch.
I told one of the officers, hey, you guys remember that car I showed you earlier, that green car? I told the officer, there is a car parked on the side of the store, and they tried to go out the fire escape. They wanted to see if it was going to go off. Thank goodness it did. But there has to be a driver. There has to be a driver. But a couple minutes later, he comes back, and he brings this chick inside with him.
If you've worked a really crappy minimum wage job, then you definitely know what these videos are like, and you definitely are going to feel something while watching these. BlackBusterCritic's other iconic series would be known as Sonic Brain Fart. Now, this is how he would originally start on his channel, was covering people that were really disgusting in the Sonic community. Sonic Brain Farts was a large series of videos where BlackBusterCritic would find people who were obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog and commentate and discuss their behavior on the internet. In retrospect, these videos are pretty crude, but it shows the different state of YouTube at the time. This was a much grittier type of content.
Sonic would have been so disappointed in me. Thank God I'm a good hedgehog. Oh, my fellow losers on DeviantArt are sending me messages. What's up, guys? Oh, it looks like they want to role play. Well, that's too bad, because my Sonic fan characters do not steal.
BlackBusterCritic's Sonic Brain Farts are an iconic part of his channel, and really how he kinda got his channel up and running. BlackBusterCritic's Sonic Brain Farts were very iconic for his channel, and he would make videos on Charles Hamilton, Alex Henriol, Michael Dragon 800, just to name a few. He even made a video about the infamous Kristen Weston Chandler, which he never made a part 2 to this video, but the talk of Chris Chan still continues to this day. He was even known for debating other YouTubers on the platform, and he was really good at it too. As I stated earlier in the video, BlackBusterCritic was a huge fan of PC gaming. PC gaming in the early 2010s wasn't in the same light as it would later be later in the decade. This would lead to BlackBusterCritic making many videos explaining that PC gaming was the best way to play. This would cause an outcry of fanboys from every console fan base, getting mad in the comments and creating a storm of nonsense. Many people would ask to debate him, even Rich from Review Tech USA, which at the time was more of a console-centered channel than he is today. And funnily enough, BlackBusterCritic ended up winning this debate against Rich from Review Tech USA.
So you're saying games don't come out broken on the consoles? Is that what you're saying? They don't have broken versions of games?
No, they
on the
have
consoles?
bugs and they have issues, but they're
The
never,
same as the PC, right?
not as often, and you know it. Not as often.
Not as often. That's
And the
why.
game is- in
That's
most
why
cases,
games
the
on the
game-
that's why games on the consoles have to have patches every other week, right? Because it's not that often.
Yeah, but how many times do you get patches and don't even notice anything wrong with the game? And how long do those patches take to install? 2 seconds?
It depends on people's connections. Some patches are 200. Some patches are 200 megabytes. Some patches are 200 megabytes, 330 megabytes. It all depends on the patch.
I'll even admit it. I think BBC won. I do. He had good points about servers that I couldn't really come back with anything on, and I'm going to give him this one. And, you know, yeah, I think that you have to have a set of nuts a minute when someone wins, too. You won this one, man, and I'll give it to you.
Thank you, my friend. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Oh, you guys want some stage clear music?
I can't think of a single debate where he actually would lose, honestly. It seems like he was unstoppable against people that would try to debate BlackBusterCritic. He was smart, he was good at finding holes in other people's arguments, and which made his debates really entertaining to watch. He even debated Life in a Tent. For those who don't know YouTube back in the day, he was a semi-popular YouTuber who was known for profiting off of the Japan earthquake that was happening at the time, saying simply thumbs up for epic earthquake, which was a really weird. This actually pissed off BlackBusterCritic, and it immediately started a debate between the two of them, where BlackBusterCritic destroyed him so hard that Life in a Tent pretty much ran off the internet shortly afterward. There's even a clip where BlackBusterCritic's girlfriend at the time gets in the frame and starts roasting Life in a Tent.
See, that's what you're trying to manipulate me, and it's just not gonna work, okay? It's not gonna work.
Manipulate you? I'm just a black guy on the other side of the internet. How am I trying to manipulate you?
Because you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you valid reasons behind this whole thing. The Quake video, I told you what was on my mind on the Quake. You've been picking on other people before.
You don't know me.
Yeah, you've been picking on other people.
You don't know me. You don't know me. Hey,
that like this drama shit. None of them.
you don't know anything.
Look at you. Go back to the mid. No. Go back.
This would then coin the phrase "life ends in a tent" for life in a tent.
Alright, we'll watch your little show, but seriously, none of this drama. I'm done with this drama. Done.
Yet you're still talking to me on Skype. There we go, he finally got it.
BlackBusterCritic would pretty much make videos on anyone he wanted to. His ability to take down anyone who tried to go after him was pretty much limitless. He wasn't afraid to go and make videos going after really any fan base he wanted to. He even made videos about Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, saying he was disappointed that Capcom was selling the same game over a year later when it really could have just been an update instead of just putting a game behind a $60 paywall. He even went after the company for later putting content on the disc and selling it as DLC for later fighting games.
Oh, you should be used to this already. Capcom's been doing this for years. You're stupid.
You guys realize that they cheat gamers, but you encourage them to continue to cheat us. And that ain't right. You fools that bought Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you don't care about gaming. You don't. You really don't.
The issue, though, with going after so many fan bases and making videos on literally anything he wanted to, was this led to many people false flagging his videos. People were trying everything they could to remove him off of YouTube, and this would be the inevitable downfall of his channel. His original BlackBusterCritic channel would be removed off the platform many times until the original YouTube channel finally came back for some reason in the past year or so after being false flagged into the Shadow Realm. But for those who want to actually look at the old BlackBusterCritic channel, it's now back up after being false flagged and removed for like almost a decade. His last video on the original BlackBusterCritic channel was as follows. Jamin would make an announcement that he was going to boot camp in the Navy. He announced that he was going to be leaving the platform for a few months and hopefully he would come back in the future.
I need to secure myself a job, money, a future, a career, because YouTube's not going to do that for me. So all of you that understand why there were no videos, thank you. Seriously. When I go into the Navy, they're training me for sonar technician and electrical, it's basically electrical engineering. That's what my bachelor's degree was going to be. I've got about 2.5 to 3 years of my bachelor's degree done.
The leap of absence would end up being a lot longer than expected, as he would eventually not be in the Navy for as long as he expected he was going to be in the Navy. He would eventually return to YouTube after a leap of absence a year later and continued making content on a new channel called the BlackBusterShow. Ironically enough, when he was at boot camp, he mentioned that he met somebody who was an avid SonicHentai.net user that would use the computer at the Navy and look up hentai.
And I would go into the lounge, you know, after I've worked out a bit, you know, just to relax for a second and ease up. And people are in there, they're on Facebook and stuff, but I see one guy in the corner on something else. And it's right next to the jukebox, so I'm over there at the jukebox about to play some music. And I see he's on SonicHentai.net. And I'm just like, I just couldn't believe it. And sure enough, later on, you know, people told me, oh yeah, you know, I saw him looking at pictures of tails and everything. Like, he'd load the picture, then scroll down really fast, hoping nobody would see it. And then he'd leave a comment on it. I'm like, why would you do that around a bunch of guys? Seriously.
If you don't know what that is, then don't look it up, obviously. But this is ironic considering how many videos he has made on the same type of people. It's just crazy that type of individual is out there, especially in the Navy. After his period away from YouTube, BlackBusterCritic returned and started making videos where he would rant about the type of people he would meet during his tech support job.
Now, she hears this, and she's just like,
Look! My marriage is on the line here! I am begging for your help! There has to be something you could do up there! Get me a manager! Get me a supervisor!
ma'am, getting them won't help you. There's no one here who can help you with this.
And these videos would almost feel like his old school YouTube guidelines to being a customer videos. He would even make content covering other heinous people on the platform. This time around, it felt more like the people he was covering at the time were more and more deranged, as some of these people would actually eventually end up being in jail. It seemed like things were going back to normal. BlackBusterCritic would continue to debate people, and he would continue to make videos that would piss off other fanboys, like the PC Master Race video. It felt like the good old days of the BlackBusterCritic. However, as the years went by, uploads for content would begin to slow down. He would make a handful of videos a year to merely just a few videos a year, then simply just only making videos during E3, which was electronic gaming conference where they would cover games that were going to be coming out for consumers. Then the videos would simply stop even after that. BlackBusterCritic would show up and make videos maybe once or twice a year during E3 specifically, and then he would stop making videos for the rest of the year. He would make a video in 2019 announcing that he was still alive and a lot of things have changed in his life. BlackBusterCritic would announce that he was working in a lab after leaving his tech support job, and he would eventually have to adjust to a new work schedule, working night shifts and sleeping during the day. This transition was a huge turning point in his life, as now YouTube went from being an important hobby to morely just being something in the backseat. While he still liked making content, making money was more of a priority for him, which is fine and honestly understandable. He would also reveal in one of his return videos that he actually had a son, and BlackBusterCritic is a father now. He would then joke around and say that his son's name is BlackBusterCritic Jr., which is a reference to a old fan-made character that he made, making fun of some Sonic fanboys back in the day. This would eventually be a big turning point in his life, because now that he was a father, this would change his life completely. He would begin to have troubles with his son's mother, and this would eventually cause to both of them having to go to court over the custody of his son. Now, this situation is very personal, so I'm not really going to speak on it very much, but just know this was a big area of change for Jamin, as he even imparts knowledge from this time period to his fans during live streams. While during 2019, BlackBusterCritic would return to Twitch and YouTube for a brief period of time, he would take another leap of absence in 2020, most likely due to the obvious world events that occurred in 2020. And Jamin still working at the lab means that the demand for the job is higher than ever. Since 2019, BlackBusterCritic hasn't made any other videos and seemingly has disappeared from the platform again. While some people would call BlackBusterCritic a troll, I think that really short sells what he was trying to do on the platform. Jamin would make videos on very heinous people that were around in the DeviantArt and YouTube community. It was simply though to create awareness on how not to act on the internet. He mentioned the importance of knowing whatever you post on the internet stays there forever, and the legacy that these people make on the internet will stay with them forever. During some live streams on Twitch, he would say there was nothing wrong with being a fan of Sonic or other fandoms. He would just say making videos that these people were making about the amount of obsession that they had over these characters, this is what was mainly wrong with them. It was the amount of obsession that these people had over these fictional characters that would control their lives. He would later mention that if someone saw one of these videos and it made them think twice about making this type of content on the internet, then he did what he was supposed to do. He would give advice all the time during his live streams and impart knowledge to his audience. He really did care about his fans. If he was some troll, then he wouldn't even care about his audience at all. He certainly did make some mature content, and he was definitely a lot younger when he made a lot of his videos, but I find him to be a very important part of YouTube, and his videos overall I think have a net positive advantage. While yes, he sometimes comes off as controversial, but he was trying to help people at the end of the day and spread a message of wisdom onto his audience. BlackBusterCritic has stated many times that the same type of content that he used to make on YouTube would not survive on the platform today, simply as the result of probably people false flagging and demonetization and stuff like that. While he has said he is interested in making content, it is unknown whether he is actually going to return or not. So seemingly he has disappeared again. Overall, I think BlackBusterCritic was a good guy. I certainly was a big fan of his videos, especially when I was growing up. I think somebody like BlackBusterCritic is definitely very important for the platform, and you might not see as much people like BlackBusterCritic today. I still think what he did on the platform while he was still around And while he was making content, I do find it very entertaining and actually important too, because not only is he stopping people from going down the wrong path, he's calling it out and spreading awareness so other people don't make the same mistakes as well. So I thank BlackBusterCritic for making content, and I thank him for making videos on YouTube and having a platform and spreading his message. And if he ever wants to return to YouTube again, you know, he'll be welcomed by his fans. I'm obviously going to welcome him as well. He seems like a pretty chill guy. So thank you, Jamin. Thank you, BlackBusterCritic, for making videos. All your fans appreciate it. Every time he leaves and he comes back, he gets like a lot of fans coming in, and they just welcome him with open arms. And so that's really how it should be. He seems like a really chill guy. So I hope you guys take care, you enjoy, you have a good day. I have a Patreon in the description, so if you want to donate, feel free to do that. Patrons will be getting videos early. I know this is different content from what I've been doing usually with more of the Project M centric videos, but now I kind of want to spread my wings in different directions. I'll still make some Project M videos. I want to kind of make content. I think long term it'll be better for the channel because, again, at the end of the day, it is called honest content. This stuff's about just honest content in general, so I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys stay safe out there. It's cold, snow, winter, bad, supposedly. If you think winter's good, you obviously don't drive in the snow. So anyways, staying on topic, hope you guys enjoy. Patreon in the description. Check that stuff out if you want. I appreciate you guys. You guys are cool. You're dope. Thank you. Take care.